Hey guys, Paul here, getting ready to go on a gold panning expedition within the next few weeks, pulling out the tent that's been in storage for a couple of years. I haven't used this tent, and pulling it out here, I'm noticing it's got some mildew and mold on it. I don't know if you can see that yellow discoloration. See that yellow? That's mold and mildew. See that? So this tent needs a little attention. So what I've got going on in here is a bucket with warm water and about a cup of white vinegar. White vinegar is a great natural cleaning agent. It cleans about 80% of all mold and mildew. It'll take care of this no problem. Now I find it easier to set up the tent first. It's easier to clean the panels that way. So you can see some discoloration in here and along here, just thin stripes of mildew where the tent has been folded. So I'm just going to take my vinegar rag here and just clean that off. It comes off very easily. It's almost like a powder. Now, as I mentioned, this tent has been out of use for a couple years, and I got some corrosion in there in the zipper, and that won't pull. So just take some 3-in-1 oil here, and I'm just going to put a few drops in that zipper and check it out then. Kind of lifting that up like that, letting that oil soak in there. In the meantime, I'm going to take this soap and run it down the zipper to lubricate all that up. It's really important to keep your zipper lubricated. You can just rub that soap down there, and that will help that zipper move down really easily. All right. That works great. All the way down, and also at the base of the tent. I've also run the soap right down in all the seams and all the zippers, inside and out, and along the bottom as well. All right, inside the tent here, I'm just hitting everything with the vinegar rag. Top, sides, everything. You'll be a lot happier cleaning your tent out before you go camping, because you won't have any of those mold spores or mildew. If you suffer from allergies especially, this is really important. So just take your time, enjoy being outside in your tent, and looking forward to your summer camping adventures. And I'll leave this tent out here for a couple hours this afternoon. The sun is really hot, so I'm going to open up the mesh screens, let the wind and air come through here, dry everything out really well before I pack it up and get ready for my summer camping trips. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and it would be great to have you on board as a sub to my channel, and we'll see you guys real soon. Does your backpack have a stuck zipper? Yeah, whose doesn't? You can use this 3-in-1 household oil on the zipper, but that's going to get all over your clothing or other belongings. Really, the best thing to do is to rub a bar of soap on the zipper in the whole length of the zipper, and run it down both sides of the teeth there, like that. And you'd be good to go for a few seasons anyway. It's nice because this method, that oily residue is not going to damage or stain your clothing or other items that you may have on there. It's also non-toxic compared to that household oil. If that gets on food, that's no good. So give a thumb up for another good frugal tech tip. We'll see you guys real soon. As I mentioned, this tent has been out of use for a couple years, and I got some corrosion in there in the zipper, and that won't pull. So just take some 3-in-1 oil here, and I'm just going to put a few drops in that zipper and check it out then. Kind of lifting that up like that, letting that oil soak in there. In the meantime, I'm going to take this soap and run it down the zipper to lubricate all that up. It's really important to keep your zipper lubricated. You can just see, just rub that soap down there, and that will help that zipper move down really easily. All right. That works great. All the way down, and also at the base of the tent. I've also run the soap right down in all the seams and all the zippers, inside and out, and along the bottom as well. So there's a difference of sewing a double versus a single threaded needle. A double thread is you take both sides coming out of the needle and you tie a knot in them. And that's really strong for buttons. That's what you want to use for buttons. But for a hem, we don't need all that extra thread. We want to do what's called single threaded. So this way you put your thread through the needle, but then you have a short end right here. Okay? And this is the long end. That's what's going to go through all the material. And then you put a knot on the end of that, just like there. Okay, you put a knot on the end of that long end. Now what the deal is you got this short end as mentioned, and you want to make sure that that does not come through the eye of the needle as you're working. So make that kind of long, make it at least 8 inches, let's say, 6 to 8 inches. And that way you've got your 2 ends here, but this one's much longer. That's what's going to go through the material. And the other one you're kind of just using to hold the thread in the needle. Now you want to pull your thread through very carefully because you don't want it to bunch up. So there we go. There's our knot at the end. Hey friends, welcome to Legend of Green Man. This is Paul, the best do-it-yourself hacks on YouTube. You ever have that pair of pants and you just don't want to let them go even though you're getting holes in them? Yeah, same thing here. And I just came up with an awesome do-it-yourself pro tip hack. You don't need to buy expensive fabric tape, no way. Just get some duct tape that roughly matches the color. And on the back of my seat here, I had a pretty big hole. So I cut out a medallion of duct tape and pressed that right into the hole and cut off the frayed ends that were right there. And that works great. You can't even really tell that there's any kind of hole there. Now this was a little trickier moving to the front of the pant. I had a similar hole, or I have a similar hole right here. So first cutting the frayed threads, I did the same process by mashing in a square, and then on the front it looked okay, but it was a bigger hole and there was more sticky adhesion coming out there. There weren't enough threads to make it up, so I had this thinner kind of gift wrapping paper tape. This would not be strong enough to put against the fabric, but I cut a small amount of this and pressed it right into the bare adhesive coming off that duct tape on the other side, and then I cut around that delicately with the scissors to try to blend in as much as possible. And you cannot tell that I've got a hole in my pants. Totally mended, looks fantastic. And same thing in the rear. Looks great, friends. Please post your comments below, and thanks for watching. You know, this will get me through another, probably up until I have to wash these again, and I may have to repeat the process, but heck, you know, if I wear these pants for a couple weeks and don't wash them, I'm good to go. Post your comments below, guys. Thanks for watching. Good luck with your do-it-yourself fix holes in your pants pro tip hack. Legend of Green Man, Paul, signing out. Hey friends, Paul here with another helpful budget tip. Not having direct access to a washer and dryer in an apartment, I do a lot of hand washing. What I'm doing here is washing some pretty grubby wool clothing that I wear all winter. And for hand washing, I fill up the sink. I use hot water. Now, a lot of people won't recommend that, but for rugged sweaters and heavy wool pants, these are German army wool pants. I use hot water to really get that dirt out of there. And I use dish soap. I find that this mild dish detergent works just as well as Woolite or any expensive name brand. And before filling up the sink with fresh water for the rinse, give your clothes a good wringing out. Now, don't twist your wool. You don't want to crank on it this way because that will ruin the fibers. Instead, just give it a firm squeeze. In the rinse cycle, give your clothes a good kneading to get out all the dirt and get that nice fresh water in all those wool fibers. I also like to swish my clothes back and forth like this and then give them a kneading. Just kind of get into like a meditative rhythm, swishing that water back and forth, and then followed by a kneading up and down. And as before, squeeze top to down. It's a great forearm workout, especially with a pair of heavy wool pants like these. And finally, lay your garment flat on a towel on the floor, for example. Don't hang it, because hanging will elongate those wool fibers and stretch out your garment, especially in the case of sweaters, for example. Now what I'll do is flip this after about 12 hours or so, especially a heavy pair of wool pants like this. I'll flip it after about 12 hours or so and just do that as needed to get each layer completely dry. And post your comments below about your favorite wool clothing.